Hey everyone, the numbers are in for the Panama City Beach housing market for August 2023. I'm Craig Duran with the Duran Group over at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. I just finished up the condo version of this video, and at the beginning of that, I said I think I'm becoming a little bit of a real estate nerd 20 years later, because I was real excited to get up and delve into the numbers today to try to understand what's happening in the market and see if that lines up with what I'm feeling on a day-to-day basis. In this video, I want to go through some specific communities and get really granular to show you what's selling in there. In this video, it's going to be Breakfast Point, Whisper Dunes, Hathaway Townhomes, Palmetto Trace. If you'd like a version of this for your particular community, just give me a call, shoot me a text at 850-527-0221. I'll put that together for you. Every month, I'm putting out a condo analysis, a housing market analysis to keep people informed so that they're a better, smarter buyer or seller of real estate. If you like this video or you want to stay updated, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell icon, and you'll be updated anytime our market reports come out. Again, the market analysis is usually only once per month. Of course, we also are doing any property tours of homes and condos that we're selling. We're very honored to be hired to sell a lot of really cool stuff around Panama City Beach. So if you want those, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. Please share this with anybody else you think is trying to keep up with the market or wants some general information. I think if you watch, or if you've watched these in the past, I don't like to be very pressuring or much of a fear monger. I just want to give you the straight information so that you can use that for yourself to become a better, smarter buyer or seller. So let's get into it. Some of the things I'm feeling in the market day to day. Again, I've been doing this for 20 years and sell a lot of real estate here. It's felt slow. It's felt, especially in the housing market, very challenging because of all the mainly rising interest rates. It's really difficult to navigate. So I was curious today to see if we'd seen any pickup in the market recently. You wouldn't think there would be, knowing that rates had jumped again. Most of the month of August, rates were heading north. So a couple things when you think about this market from a supply-demand standpoint. This is a chart from a company called Showing Time, which is a service that a lot of real estate agents and brokers use to schedule showing appointments. The orange line represents 2023, and this is a really good visual representation of what's happening with demand. Not surprising, as interest rates go up, anybody who's buying, who is doing some financing, is really getting pinched. The budget's getting lower and smaller just because of what's happening with the rates. This is normalized at the beginning of the year. Here's the 0% line. Everything's sort of based off of that. You can see most of the first part of this year, even with higher rates that had spiked in the middle of last year, we were still showing more real estate in 2023 at the beginning of the year, really, than we had the last 4 years. But look at what's happened. By June, we were down 3.7% year over year. We recovered a little bit later in June, but look at what's happened since about July 13th. Minus 1.6, minus 4.4. It's just continuing to crater. And then with the recent spike again, look, not surprising. Minus 16, minus 23. We're down to minus 23.6%, meaning we're showing almost 25%. We're having almost 25% fewer showings than we have been normalized. Something else to probably pay attention to in this, you can see from now through the rest of the year, things tend to stay pretty flat or trend down year over year. And it's even funny, you can see kind of when the holidays happen and all that. So demand is off, not surprising. What I've been feeling a little bit, this is my sales from last month. It was a pretty average month for me. I had 6 closings. One was a condo in Grand Residences, someone that was moving in there. So even though it's a condo, it was very much a residential transaction. It was a VA buyer. Golf Villas, this buyer did some financing. This was more of an investor. This was a VA buyer over at Bridge Harbor. This was a cash investor over on North Lagoon Drive. This was a financing buyer over in Long Beach, a different type. That's not really residential. And then a pretty large residential purchase in Bay Point, 3.13 million. That was a cash deal. So a pretty average to strong month for me personally, in light of a softer market. Let's get into some of these communities specifically, starting with the overall market. Let me blow this up for you. Remember, months of inventory, 5 or 6 months of inventory in real estate represents a neutral or a balanced market. Sorry, still getting the coffee down this morning. In a neutral or balanced market, you don't see pressure on pricing down. You don't really see a lot of appreciation. It's a pretty standard market. It can take us on average 5 or 6 months to sell through everything that's for sale. That's the idea behind the number. We've been trickling up slightly, meaning we've been slowing down. If this number is moving up, the market is softening. We've gone from 3 months of inventory in March as high as 4.5 in July, but things improved ever so slightly to 4.3 in August. So if anything, we were about flat. In the overall market, that's counting new construction, resales, any price range. If we dig into some specific communities, we'll start in Breakfast Point. For those of you with a real keen eye, you will see I live in Breakfast Point. Well, I guess you probably can't see it by that, but if you know where I live, you know. Back deck of Breakfast Point. This is interesting to me, eye-opening. We've gone, and some of the owners that I'm working right now on selling, we have 1, 2, 3 homes for sale in here right now, and ask those owners, they're really feeling this. May, we were at 1.3 months of inventory, meaning homes were still flying off the shelf. June, we spiked to 11 months of inventory. This is right around one of the interest rate moves. We recovered nicely in July. We were only at about 3.3 months of inventory, but look at what's happened in August. I mean, 21 months of inventory, you've really hit the brakes in a market at 21 months of inventory. 5 or 6 months of inventory is neutral, remember. So when you hit 7 or 8 months, you're starting to feel sluggish. The longer you stay there, the more pressure there is on pricing to come down. So that 21 months of inventory theoretically means it would take us 21 months to sell everything that's on the market today at the current rate of sales. That's what that number means. 21 months is pretty severe. Again, this is only a snapshot, and things are changing all the time. But that's something to pay attention to. I pulled Breakfast Point East just to compare, because those of us who live in here, even though Breakfast Point East is an extension of Breakfast Point, there's some things that feels a little different over there for some. I think it is going to start to feel more like Breakfast Point as more of the community develops kind of to the east and kind of to the south. Look at what's happening there, though, too. Not surprising. 2.2, 2.8, 3 months of inventory skyrocketed to 17. And this is, you can almost everything here is a direct result of what's going on with interest rates. We're going to have to be patient to work through this. To give you some sense of pending, I pulled pending and sold properties in Breakfast Point, both Breakfast Point and Breakfast Point East, only the last 30 days. The most interesting thing to pay attention to here is, look, new construction pending, new construction pending, new construction pending, new construction pending, new construction, 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 resale, new construction, new construction, new construction, new construction, new construction, no, sorry, resale, new construction, resale, new construction, new construction, new construction, resale, new construction, new construction, new construction. So I didn't count that, but you get the idea. One of the things that anybody selling a resale right now, one of the big challenges is the marketing that builders will do to sell product. The builders know very, very well the kind of market that we're in. And builders do a very, very good job with making it easy for a buyer, for making it easy for a buyer to make an offer. Let me explain this for a second. The builders already have the advantage of having a new product. Everybody likes new. Everything's nice and bright and shiny. You have the nicest, newest materials, the newest floor plans. Even though homes are getting a little smaller and the lots are getting a little smaller, uh, we all still like new. And so the builder has that advantage to start with. Now, what builders understand is they're offering incentives like closing costs to buyers, sometimes pretty big numbers, because the builder would rather keep a higher sales price and give a buyer some money back, because this sales price is what goes on. It gets recorded, and then the next one they're selling, the next one they're selling, the next one they're selling, all can maintain that. So you're starting to see a lot of incentives like builders paying a big number on closing costs, although in their contract, they're asking the buyer to pay closing costs that buyers normally wouldn't pay on resales. When you go to resales, vast majority of the time, sellers are paying some of the big closing costs like doc stamps on the deed and title insurance, which are some of the larger fees. Builders are telling buyers, hey, you're paying those fees, but we're going to give you some money back towards closing costs. So it's a nice little bit of a shell game there, because buyers are saying, oh, wow, look, we're getting $5,000, $10,000 back, although there's $5,000 or $10,000 worth of fees on their side that wouldn't have been otherwise, or if you weren't dealing with a resale. But the other thing builders are really keyed in on, they're buying the rates down, and they're making it easy that, hey, if you use our lender, we'll give you some more incentives, and we'll buy your interest rate down. We'll buy the rate down 2% for a year, another 1% for the next year. And buying the rate down is one of the ones that they can directly target this demand. So if you're selling and you're selling a resale, one of the things that can be a very appealing offer is to either offer some money back towards buyers' closing costs right out of the gate, and or offer the idea of an interest rate buy down. Hey, we'll buy down your interest rate for 2% or 1%. If you want any more information on that, it's a little bit longer of an explanation, but essentially it's a buyer incentive that can really help you stand out amongst the others. So another couple other communities over in the Hathaway Townhomes, similar situation here. It's spiked from 0.75 months of inventory, what had been a pretty solid market, up to 7 months of inventory in June. It's been pretty quiet since then. 2 sales last month, 330,000, 350,000. One unit that is pending, the asking price is 349.5. Over in Palmetto Trace, we'll look at this a couple different ways. We'll start with the detached single family section, then look at the attached single family section. 2 very different markets. Palmetto Trace is still selling pretty well. 0.75 months of inventory. It's moved up slightly to 2, but for the most part, mostly detached single family homes in Palmetto Trace should be selling pretty well, which means you probably can be a little more ambitious on your pricing there versus a resale in Breakfast Point. In the attached units forever and ever have sold really well. Recently, that market's been a little bit softer, 3 and 4 months of inventory, where it had been very, very low for a long time. Again, direct result in higher interest rates is pinching buyers' budgets a bit. The only activity in the last 30 days in Palmetto Trace has been a $310,000 sale in one of the attached units. Another $315,000 sale in one of the attached units. And the $310,000 sale is pending at the moment. And one of the 3 2s in the detached single family is pending. The asking price there is $468,900. Finally, Whisper Dunes, again, similar story. The market had been cruising along pretty well at 1.67, 1.5 months of inventory, very, very hot. Jumped all the way to 7 just in 1 month. So just like that, hitting the brakes again. Soft market in Whisper Dunes at the moment. Only 2 things of note in the last 30 days. One closing in one of the attached units for $325,000. One asking $339,950. That is now under contract. So a few pro tips if you're thinking about selling. First of all, you have to not only understand the market that you're in overall, but you really have to understand your particular neighborhood. You can see neighborhood to neighborhood, things can be a little bit different. If we're looking just at what we reviewed now, you can probably be a little more ambitious with pricing on a resale in Palmetto Trace than you can in Breakfast Point, maybe than you can in Whisper Dunes at the moment. if you're really analytical about it. The other thing, especially in the housing market, making sure that you're show ready, like HGTV 99%, as much as you can do to make something decluttered, depersonalized. Curb appeal has to be great. Inside, if you have any projects, small, medium, or large, that need to be done, give me a call. I can give you my 2 cents on what might be worth tackling and what may not really change the value. And then again, offering, or out of the gate, offering some buyer incentives are really getting buyers' attention, especially if you can directly attack either closing costs or buying down the interest rate, or both. There's some ways you can put some nice offerings together to stand out from the other resales in the market, because the market is a bit soft. I hope this helps you. I know it's 15 minutes, almost 16 minutes of data and analysis, but I hadn't gotten really granular recently, so I wanted to do that for you. I hope this helps. Again, please share the video, subscribe, hit the bell button if you want to stay updated. Again, I'm Craig Duran with the Duran Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Thanks for watching.